Hello Internet, my name is Lave and I finally watched Apollo 11, which comes to us from director Todd Douglas Miller, who I think has made another documentary called Dinosaur 13, which I haven't seen, but I was really looking forward to this one because I'd seen a couple of tweets saying that it was a really good documentary and I love this sort of stuff. So if you haven't guessed by the title, this one is all about the Apollo 11 mission in July 1969, which took mankind to the moon, starting on the day of the launch to splash down back here on Earth. So as I mentioned, I love this stuff about the Apollo mission. I don't really understand anyone who isn't inspired by this story. I just think it's fantastic. And I have watched a load of documentaries about it already, like BBC always do good ones on their Horizons programme or on the Sky at Night. And I've even watched like stuff on YouTube. There's a really good YouTube channel called Vintage Space, which covers a lot of this stuff with some really good content. But none of them really compare to this film. This is unlike any other documentary I've seen because there are no floating head interviews or running commentaries. It's just a play-by-play of the events as they went down, with the dialogue coming from the communications between Mission Control and the astronauts, with a few news reports from time to time. And honestly, this approach to it made me feel like I was there in amongst it all, witnessing it firsthand, which is something that I've always wondered about growing up. I have strong memories as a kid asking my parents where they were when it happened, and they do have strong memories of it. And now I feel like I know what it was like, especially at the beginning of the film as the camera goes in amongst the crowd who are waiting for the launch. It's got an almost festival type feel to it. And when the launch happens, whoa boy, I cannot stress enough how much you need to see this on an IMAX screen. Not only does the 70mm footage look stunning, but the sound design that goes along with it is incredible. The Saturn V rockets have never sounded so good on the IMAX speakers. It literally blows you away, and the accompanying musical score has almost got this kind of heartbeat to it, which speeds up as the velocity of the ship speeds up as they do their gravity assist. But crucially, it also slows down when they get into lunar orbit as well, so it slows down. It's such an experience. Please see this in IMAX. And there's plenty of those countdown moments, from the launch to the burns to the maneuvers, the descents and the ascents. It really keeps it entertaining but also nerve-wracking. Even though I know the outcome of it all, I was still biting my nails and was just in awe of the precision of it all, and the fact that nothing really goes wrong apart from at the beginning where they're like, oh, we found a couple of bolts which we need to tighten, better not launch yet. It's like, blimey. But you also get a sense of the amount of people that were involved in doing it. And it's really nice to see like people that I've seen portrayed in movies. Like Jim Lovell pops up at one moment, who was the commander on Apollo 13, famously played by Tom Hanks in Ron Howard's movie. And when I saw him, I was like, oh, he kind of facially looks like Kevin Costner. So I was wondering if he was ever considered to play the role and not Tom Hanks. But back to this film and the footage that they found, which, as I say, looks amazing. I'm sure they must have done some digital restoration work on it because some of it is so clear, especially at the beginning of the film. But there are a couple of like grainy, pixelated and blurred scenes. But what they do is quite often they will transition from those shots into high-res photos that the astronauts took themselves. I thought it was a lovely touch that all of the astronauts got a cinematography credit at the end of the film. That was lovely. But another really nice thing that they did in the film is that you see a photograph of the Earth on day 2, then on day 3, and then you see it rising from the lunar horizon when they finally get there, and it is a beautiful moment. There is also another moment which is going to have the conspiracy theorists all up in arms, which is a landscape photo of the lunar surface, and it pans along, and then in out of the side is Stanley Kubrick sitting in his director's chair drinking a cup of tea. I'm only joking, that doesn't happen, but imagine. There are some little animated sequences interspersed throughout the film, and what I think they've done is they've taken the infographics that NASA would have used at the time. It's really like simple, no thrills stuff. It's like schematic line drawings. They're only black and white images, but it's perfectly in keeping with the technical science aspect of the film. Like, honestly, I haven't really got anything bad to say about this. I really enjoyed it. And as I say, I've always wondered what it was like to experience it at the time. And now I feel like I have experienced it. So that's my thoughts on Apollo 11, and pause the video if you want to take a closer look at my enjoyment tracker now. I'm so glad this film exists. I think they should make it mandatory viewing for schools and universities to help inspire the next generation. I know Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos are doing their own thing, but come on, we need to go back and we need to go beyond. When are we going to land on Mars already? So let me know what you thought of Apollo 11 down in the comments. Hopefully you got a chance to see it in IMAX like me. Just before I go, I have to do a couple of shout outs because I'm on Patreon now and I've already got a few pledges, which I'm amazed about. So I've got to give a few shout outs to Jamie Maddock, Noam Nahum, I hope I'm saying that right, Chris Pridmore and Noah Howes. You guys are awesome. I wasn't expecting to get so many pledges so quickly. If you want to check out my Patreon page, I've done a little video which I'll link up here. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you can, give it a like and don't forget to share the lave.
Subscribe.